The Christian TikToker who was secretly a monster by SunnyV2. Why are some of the worst people Christians? How... Christians in quotes, because you aren't Christian if you are probably what I would assume is gonna happen.
Joe Rogan made it seem like he was holier than holy. As a Christian youth pastor, he dedicated his...
Oh god, youth pastor? I don't like where this is going. I do not like where this one is going. I do not.
TikTok to showing respect for women until 6 different people exposed him for his own secretly terrible history. You could see the red flags in early tweets like this one. I am a Christian and I support LGBTQ.
If you're a Christian, this is already over. Technically, if you're a Christian, you cannot support this, technically. You cannot support this.
And I support BLM, and I support people of other faiths, and I support a women's right to choose.
That technically also does technically not work.
The need to vocalize his own morality was almost strangely excessive, and his TikTok videos weren't any different. He wanted to punch all men who talked about how women dress.
Interesting. Christian, by the way. Christian, by the way. I mean, the red flags already show, I mean, overly, like, overly, like, pick me, overly, like, good guy. Like, it already brother, it shows. It shows. You are a walking red flag.
While reminding his female followers that they had total control of their body.
On their body, their choice does technically also not work as a Christian, because as a Christian you have to be anti-abortion. That is also not working. Bro is... following hippie Jesus? What is happening here?
When he wasn't supporting women, it was instead minorities.
It's homophobia, racism, misogyny, you name it, all thinly veiled as a joke, and you're not fooling anybody.
Which people found suspicious long before he was exposed.
But when this dude is making almost his entire personality about respect women, always be nice to women, respect, 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 it gets a little overboard, to be honest.
When questioned about his motives, Joe...
It's always like... nobody that tells you that they're a good guy are actually a good guy. Like, it rarely is the case. There's always something happening in the background that nobody's aware of. And that guy is certainly not Christian. Certainly not. The I support BLM aged poorly. It aged poorly because BLM failed, because it turned into... it was much less... a movement from black people for black people, and more so, how can I turn this into profit? And then take the millions that were donated and just run the other way. Nobody's batting an eye. Nobody knows what the founder of BLM is. Or maybe they do know. That person took all the money, and black people saw none of it. They saw none of it.
Robe snapped pretentiously.
Just imagine being so worried about losing your male privilege that you would call anything that has to do with equality for women anti-men.
Believing that when all men are killed, he'd be spared because of his TikToks. And
the definition of pick me! Bro is so picked, it's over. They're not gonna pick you!
when he did also occasionally support men,
Now I've talked about men getting body shamed, women getting body shamed.
the objective was still the same. Try to make himself seem like a person who did no wrong.
Or rather, I'm not like other men. Guess that backfired, because apparently you technically are in this case.
The caption of his merch was literally "Be Better," which seemed true to him as a church office manager and youth pastor on the weekends.
So depending on how long you've been following me, you may or may not know that I'm actually a very religious person.
People therefore heavily respected him, even making stan accounts such as Lovely Joe Robe, while comments on his live streams read, "I have so much respect for you. You speak for others and it makes me so happy." Any videos criticizing him were met with thousands of dislikes until people became suspicious of Joe Robe's supposed morality. In late 2020, a TikToker named Gemini Official was exposed for his relationships with multiple
Half a wood chipper?
young girls. Being in line with Joe Robe's content, people asked him to talk about it, although for whatever reason, Joe Robe avoided the topic.
Message Joe Robe saying, "Hey, this is a problem, can you speak about it?" Which is bizarre that it would take you so long to talk about somebody who's grooming children.
Joe Robe later explained on Discord that denouncing the actions was simply too obvious, although having previously claimed the goal of his TikTok was to create a safe space for young people, it seemed odd that Joe Robe didn't want to talk about it. Perhaps he was simply avoiding drama, but this wasn't the only example where Joe Robe deflected an obvious topic. He'd become friends with a TikToker named The Calvin Brandel, whose videos promoted a similar sentiment to those made by Joe Robe.
Not another one of these. Not another one of these, another... Yes, please pick me. Huh. It's the she want foggy bro meme, but, as a human.
Well, turns out he'd been doing exactly what he disavowed, explaining he thought it was okay because he was TikTok famous.
I felt that with TikTok my ego was super inflated and
What kind of excuse is that? Huh? What kind of excuse is that? Oh, I'm TikTok famous, which is why it's okay to do it? My ego? Pick me, choose me, love me, true and real. The fun part is that this other guy, he won't be picked by women, and he certainly won't be picked by God. Interesting.
I felt like I was invincible, I was unstoppable, I couldn't make any mistakes.
Despite having photos together on Instagram, Joe Robe avoided the situation.
You have no problem calling out problematic men, but it seems like the problematic man is your friend, and you're a little quiet.
Eventually addressing what had happened with this iconic statement.
I'll say it again. If you groom somebody, you are disgusting. The scum of the earth.
Joe Robe, however, was doing exactly this himself.
This was somebody that I felt safe around, but I don't feel safe around him anymore because he's a groom.
If I had to hear constantly, as a man, how much I suck, I would not feel safe around this dude at all. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. I would not feel safe.
Groomer.
On one unassuming Wednesday, 17-year-old TikToker DillG16 uploaded the following video.
This video will be about one of the biggest hypocrites I have ever met in my life, Joe Robe. John is a disgusting and terrible hypocrite who abuses his platform by using his clout to groom and prey upon underage boys. He has done this to multiple people, including me. John first followed
Well, there we have it. The youth pastor is a youth pastor for a reason.
me whenever I had about 30,000 followers and joined my live stream and asked for my Snapchat, so I gave it to him. After Snapchatting for a few weeks, he asked me if I wanted to get an Airbnb with him on my 18th birthday.
Hey! At least he waited until you were 18, I guess. That's still weird though. Bro was spawn camping.
Which was over 3 months away. He started to send me links to 1-bedroom Airbnbs, and he offered to purchase me alcohol if I went. And this is him talking about the 1-bedroom. He knew that I did not want to.
1 bedroom? Yeah, he want that. That barely legal. Male Bonnie Blue encountered.
Get the Airbnb, so he thought if he invited one of my IRL friends, I would want to go. That's him asking when he was going to turn 18.
And while Joe Robe was at least waiting until their 18th birthday, the group chat they shared wasn't quite so clean.
During one of the Zooms with all of my TikTok friends, John thought it would be a good idea to have us all take a BDSM score test and send him our results.
Christian, by the way.
Keep in mind, the youngest was 15 years old and the oldest were 19, and there were only two 19-year-olds and everybody else was 17 and below.
Which had
Christian, by the way.
happened just a month before Joe Robe's 28th birthday. Dilg added one more detail before the video finished.
I found out that there are multiple people that John has groomed.
As a person named Coco then also came forward.
He started asking like different questions, like what state do you live in, and do your parents let you travel, and do you like to travel, and and he offered to buy me a room with him. He offered to buy me alcohol.
Christian, by the way. I have to repeat myself because... What the fuck? You wanted the barely legal bussy. Oh no! Why did you put it like that? No. Ooh. Yes, but ooh. No.
This is the one quote I remember him talking to me. I may be a pastor, or I may work for God, but I'm not against kids having fun. I should have realized it right there.
Is it not having anything against kids having fun, or is it not having against you having fun with kids? You know, he says one thing but means the other.
Then there was another.
I can't go into specific details about what happened between me and Joro because it is quite not safe for work.
And another after that.
He'd also make promises about getting Airbnbs and meeting up with us. He promised...
Oh, I guess he does not discriminate on gender, at least? Wow, so inclusive!
alcohol and hot tubs.
Joe Robe's accusers then made a Google Doc listing everything else he'd done. He'd tried to get blank and blank to create an OnlyFans once he turned 18.
Christian, by the way. Christian that supports corn. Wow. Wow.
And said he'd set it up for him and subscribe, also strangely bribing the group to call him hot, and locking a girl who was also intoxicated out of Zoom for calling him old and refusing to call him hot.
Bro, what? What? Bro is so inclusive. He even wanted the pronouns hot. What the fuck is going on?
Papa Gut talked about the document in this video here, after which he'd be messaged a story worse than every other one combined. I ran a small fan account for Joe Robe on Instagram. He eventually asked for my Snapchat. He told me no one else had his Snapchat and made me promise to not give anyone it or to tell anyone what we talk about. Conversations got really weird and he sent me a lot of dirty pictures, 4 of which were included to prove he wasn't lying. I was also 14 at the time. He didn't even bother to ask how old I was or for any form of identification, but he would call me a baby a lot and would try and force me to call him daddy.
No! That is not your daddy! No! And baby? Ooh.
To make matters worse, John's church profile explained, outside of his work at St. John, he is a private music teacher with over a dozen students, and up until recently, was the activities chair for the Northern Sky District of the Boy Scouts of America. But wait until you hear why he left his previous job. Someone messaged one.
Oh no, it goes deeper. Wood chipper. Yeah. Yeah. Wood chipper, take the remains, burn them, put the ashes into a burrito, feed that burrito to somebody, let them shit it out, burn it again, flush it, I don't know where I'm going with this. We can just continue over and over. Is this the YouTube predators similar to EDP? No, this is a TikTok predator. And it quotes a Christian.
One of the accusers, I wanted to reach out because I'm on staff at the church he used to work at. He was removed from staff over 2 years ago, and he was really upset with our church and strict protocols for working with youth, so he left to go to another church. We're currently in the process of contacting the other church and places he's at, as well as local authorities. Joe Robe's LinkedIn partially confirms the story's legit, as it shows he previously worked in the very same church as the lady who told the anecdote. Unsurprisingly, people demanded Joe Robe also lose his new job,
St. John Lutheran Church. You have some explaining to do.
with Papa Gut even calling the church directly.
This is the church that he works at.
Papa Gut said, you gotta go. I've seen this guy occasionally on TikTok, though, funnily enough. Bro's thirsty is not even close. Straight up a predator who was church hopping. Yep. He did damage and then hopped to the next church, pretty much.
I know this because I called the church that he works at and I asked him if he works there. They said yes. I told them that they were very serious, incredible allegations. They immediately hung up after they said, oh, thank you.
Despite hanging up the phone, the church quickly deleted Joe Robe from their website before iSpeak1906 extracted an unofficial statement.
The pastor reached out and he wants to remain anonymous. However, the bishop is aware and he has been terminated and authorities have been contacted, and that's about all that we have.
But the bigger question was, how did Joe Robe himself respond? Did he make a self-aimed TikTok about his own heinous actions?
Did he get out the ukulele and started playing it?
Well, no. He deleted his TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, even his LinkedIn, and hasn't been heard from since.
Bro disappeared, vanquished from existence.
His refusal to address the two previous situations suddenly all made sense, while others were less surprised. The accusation can't be real. A white knight influencer being secretly an awful person is unheard of. Not even surprised. It's always these types of men that end up being predators, but no one was less surprised than one of Joe Robe's former friends. As someone who personally knows John Bell and lived with him at university for a year, I can assure you that he's not the good guy here, and that these accusations line up with his past behavior. The dude was all-knowing, manipulative, homophobic, and tried to give off this ultropious Christian facade.
Interesting. Like I said, Christian. In air quotes. Oh, I deleted everything? Yep, everything! Gone! Annihilation! He knew that he could not get himself out of this.
Nothing about his online presence was genuine. Karma is taking a toll on him, and I'm glad he's getting thrown off the internet. Before any of this happened, Vegan Teacher had stated, John Robert Bell, you're going straight to hell. And it turns out her song hit the nail on the head.
Apparently so. Well, now we know. Bro is cooked. Bro was cooked. Disgusting human. Not a Christian. We know. But that was clear from the get-go. It's actually like clockwork. Like, the people that act like him are horrible motherfuckers. It's always like that.